everybody, to another exciting episode of Tundra Talk. And today we actually have another special guest, Miss Kari, Sis Miss for Mammoth. Interesting story behind that. I am not going to explain it, and I'm not going to have Kari explain it, but I want to say welcome, Kari, to the group. I appreciate you coming aboard. So,
thank you.
I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Like Doug
Go ahead,
said,
young lady.
My name is Kari. So, my name is Kari. I am a huge Mammoth fan. I went to my very first hockey game when I was in elementary school when the Olympics came here to Salt Lake City. I won a lottery at my school to go to the Canada versus China women's hockey game. And then fell in love with hockey again when I was in my early 20s and was living in North Dakota and Minnesota and going to some of the college games around there. And I kind of took a break from hockey, sadly, just because my life got a little chaotic. And when the Mammoth came to Utah, I fell in love again and have just been loving it ever since, and a huge fan of the culture and all the people that it has kind of introduced me to. So
that's awesome. Who's your favorite Mammoth player?
Oh, it would have to be Veggie. I am a huge Veggie fan. I started out liking Krause at first, and I still love him. But after I started going to games in person, I just fell in love with Karel Vejmelka and have been a Veggie head ever since. So.
I love that. And I'll be honest, there's a lot of female fans out there that absolutely love Veggie. And I have no idea why. Yeah. I mean, he's not very good looking. He's not a very good goalie. He's not tall. He's none of that stuff. So, no, I understand completely.
Rich.
So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So,
and you're a fan with Amber. Amber's happy with you now. So.
So on today's episode, we're actually going to be giving 3 players grades, not 4 this time, Doug, just 3. And then also the head coach. Does anybody know who the head coach is? I don't remember anymore. Oh, God, I'm fired. Uh-oh, Amber fired me. Yes, Andre Tourigny is our head coach, so we're actually going to grade him this past season. We're actually going to also talk about what's going on in the Delta Center. I just saw some new photos today, and I'm really hoping, I'll be honest, I don't know if they're going to be done in a month. That's going to be scary. So yeah, please do me a favor, everybody. Like, follow, comment on here, like this show. It really helps us get going even more. Please follow Miss Kari at Sis Mish for Mammoth. Also, Doug Icebag Hockey Cards here, and my amazing co-host, Adam. Hey, Madigan, your favorite hockey guy in Utah, who loves doing face paint. So, also, I want to shout out to the Hockey World Order. We do have a bunch of different podcasts going on right now. We have our national show on Wednesdays. Please tune in on TikTok, and then also on X, and then also on Facebook, and also on YouTube. And then also we have this division of that, which is Tundra Talk. I appreciate everybody coming here. We also have Friends of the Orange and Blue for the Islander fans that are out there. And then also Icing the Blues is the podcast for the St. Louis Blues. And then also we have our newest one, which is Catfish and Crossbars for the Nashville Predators. So please go watch and follow all those shows. And here we go, everybody. So I would like to start off by saying, Mr. Liam O'Brien, What grades did we give him? What did he really do well last season? What areas does he need to improve on? And does he actually have a deeper role on this Mammoth roster than he did last year? Adam, I'm going to start you off. Go right on ahead.
So Liam O'Brien actually scored last year, which is something we couldn't say for him in 2004. Or 2024. Wow, I'm old. And he actually put up 3 goals. I was very impressed with that. But Liam O'Brien and Brandon Tanev suffer from kind of the same situation, which is we are roughly using them 10 minutes a night, and that might be 10 minutes too much between the two of them. Overall, his hits declined. The fact that he was not as physical, out there. One thing that sticks in my mind very much is Stenlund ended up breaking his face. And you guys probably remember he had that bubble mask on for the longest time. And that was from a pretty cheap hit. O'Brien was on the ice with him, and O'Brien did not lay a hit. O'Brien didn't do anything. Tanev did. So, Liam O'Brien's role to me has been the enforcer, the muscle. He's not utilizing the muscle. He's not utilizing the enforcer. So for me, originally, I was going to go, D minus. But I did give him a little bit of a bump because every time he comes in, he does provide a little bit of a spark. So the energy level is there. Is it something like Carconi or Yamamoto? Very short periods of time. It is one game here, one game there. But overall, I don't think he has a place on the team moving forward. And even though he improved goal-wise over last year, he didn't improve in most of the other situations. So I hovered D+, and I ended up settling on D+.
Miss Kari, you're up, young lady.
Perfect. So my thoughts on Liam O'Brien, just kind of like when he first came to Utah, I loved when he introduced himself as Spicy Tuna. I do appreciate that he throws his weight around and can definitely stir up the crowd and get the team going. But I definitely think he spends his fair share in the penalty box.
Okay, you gave him a C. So I'll go ahead and start on my side of it. So, like what Adam and Kari both said, he did bring a lot of toughness. He did not do it as much as what he did back in the first year when he was the hockey club, Utah Hockey Club. Good Lord, I can't speak. He does bring a lot of energy to the group, but one of the things that I've noticed is that he's fallen off of that. And he has not been embracing the role that has been given to him as the enforcer. So I also gave him a D minus. Now, one of the cool things that I have learned in the last week about Liam O'Brien is that him and his wife are expecting their second child, and it's actually a boy. Congratulations. I love that. That means our Mammoth Nation is growing. My question to both of you guys, is Liam O'Brien going to be on the team at the end of this season? So, Adam, what do you think that he's going to be able to be? Is he going to be traded by the end of the season, or do you think he's going to stick it out?
I think he's going to stick it out, but honestly, the best use for Liam O'Brien at this point, I really think, is press box. Is what it's going to be. But instead of putting him in the press box, what they need to do is they need to get him a Flintstones leotard and send him out as Clubber, who is Tusky's foil, and he could be the world's first pro player / mascot at the same time. And I think that would be absolutely fantastic because he already looks like the Geico Caveman. Have him play the role of the Geico Caveman. He's the hype man. Obviously, everyone loves him for that. I think that would be awesome. But joking aside, I really don't see him having too much of a a future here. There's just too many players in the pipeline that are way better than him. There's guys that are willing to fight. Now that you've got Anders Lee and Trocheck, both of whom can drop the gloves, O'Brien's usefulness has concluded. Great fan favorite. Nice guy from everything I've seen of him for some of the events that he was at, but I just don't see a future for him here.
Yeah.
I don't know if he goes down to the AHL. I don't know if they try and do something else, but he might see 4 to 6 games this year, if anything, in spot relief. But beyond that, I don't see him having a lot.
I don't either. I think that he is going to be trade commodity. I don't know what we're going to trade for, but I can see him being trade commodity. So I would love to hear everybody else's on here. Expecting Igna, Dijna Ngindla, and Boot will be trying to get onto the roster. He won't have a lot of impact. Agreed. And that's a great topic there, Nolan. Yep. Madigan, yeah, they got it. They got it a couple days ago and yesterday, and now it's your guys' turn. So, yeah. The storms are really hitting up north of me. So, but going to Tej and the Boot, I'm going to question Danielle Boot. I don't know. I don't think he's going to make the team this year. I don't think that I think he's going to do well, but I do have a feeling that with our roster the way it is, that he is not going to be on there. He is going to be down in the A more than the season. I do see Tej being up a little bit more. I actually have a feeling that tornadoes in Columbus.
That's not good. Out there.
Yeah, please be safe, young lady. I think that he'll be playing the first 9 games with the Mammoth. So, but I think Danielle Boot is not going to be on the Mammoth this year. What do you think, Adam?
I actually disagree, and the reason that I disagree is there is a part of his contract I found out that he has the ability to opt out and head back to Russia if he doesn't get enough playing time. So I think what they want to do is potentially give him at least the contractually obligated number of games. Now, I don't know specifically. I had heard about that in passing, and I haven't had a chance, obviously, that ain't going on, to investigate too much. But if that's the case, there's that much more reason for them to keep him on the roster and push him up. But again, if he doesn't pan out, that's when you get into the depth with Tanev and O'Brien. And that's where I'm like, O'Brien might spot fill in, but I just don't see much with him there. But I think Boot makes the team, or if he doesn't make the team, he's their first call up. And I think they would rather him be playing than put O'Brien back into the lineup. That's just my thoughts. So.
Yep. So we got another question in here by I think it's Leroy. What's Utah fans' view on Peterka and his saga?
Yeah, Doug,
I'm taking a guess, Leroy, that you're a Boston fan. Maybe not. I don't know. But I think you guys got a hell of a player there. Good luck to him. I'll be honest. I figured you're a Bruins fan. Good for you.
So from a Bruins fan perspective, I brought this up a couple weeks ago. I think you guys are going to love him. I think, Doug was thinking that he might PP1 with Pasternak. I actually think he'll play with Middlestead a little bit more. That's just, I think, a better fit the way that the player styles are, but that's just me. As for the saga part of it, I didn't like the original trade because I valued Doan and Kesselring pretty highly. But I understand why that original trade was made. And then I think Boston giving up the 2 picks was great for us, but it's actually really good value for both teams. So I can't say we fleeced you or the other way around. And then on top of that, I think you guys are getting a really good player. We turned around and used one of those picks for Kosa. We still have one floating. I think it's a win-win, across the board. I think it was good. It was a move that didn't work out by Bill Armstrong, but he was able to parlay it into good assets anyway. So I can't really complain about it. I don't wish any ill will on Paterka whatsoever. I think he's a great kid. I think he's got a lot of upside. I just didn't think that upside was with us. So I think for you guys, especially Leroy, I think you're going to love him, and I'm wishing you guys good luck with him. Anything that takes out the Toronto Maple Leafs is good with me.
Hey, whoa. No, we're not doing that. We are definitely not doing that because Toronto is my secondary team.
I know. I'll crap on him.
I know you are. Better than him going to, let's say, the Rangers or the Islanders.
I wouldn't want him on the Islanders, not for that contract yet. But the Rangers for sure. So can't hate about that.
So we're in agreement that it was a D+ for Liam O'Brien. We don't think that he's going to be on the team for very long. Probably trade deadline or at the end of the season, they're going to dish him out. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So on to our next group. Yeah, Lippy. He's one of my co-hosts for the Hockey World Order. So Maveric Lamoureux.
Yeah. Big kid, man. What are you thinking?
Oh, good Lord. This kid is something special. One of the things I did not realize until I actually saw the video that you sent me that had him in it, how tall this guy is.
Yep.
This guy makes Liam O'Brien and Lawson Krause look tiny. I appreciate that, Matt. I do. He is 6'6". He's a right-handed defenseman, and he is a true defensive man, defensive player. And so it is crazy to think that we got him the 29th overall pick in 2022 when we were still part of the Arizona Coyotes. It's just insane. So this guy is developing so well down in the A. He came up with the last 2 years he played both on the NHL, didn't he not?
I
know he played last year, but I thought he played the year before too, like a couple games at the end.
He played a lot more in 24 because of the injury to Marino, so they had to rely on Kesselring and
Lamoureux.
Lamoureux, yes.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, Kari, welcome back. Woohoo! Yeah. I could tell on the Riverside that your internet was failing, so don't worry about it. We'll get you on the Riverside stuff later on.
So real fast, Leroy, I see your comment. I'm actually going to be touching on that on what I was thinking too. So.
Okay. Keep a hold of that comment. So this guy is going to be a beast in coming up. He only has 20 games total. He still needs to work a little bit on his puck handling, but his defensive play is amazing. I gave him for what he did in the NHL, not for what he did in the AHL, because his grade would be a lot higher for what he did there. I gave him a B.
Okay.
Kari, we're talking about Maveric Lamoureux. I would love to hear your thoughts on Maveric Lamoureux. And how can I screw up Maveric? That's my grandson's name.
Yeah, it's like a Dan Marino situation. You're good.
So, go ahead. Go for it. Love it, Kari. You and I are on the same wavelength there by giving Maveric Lamoureux a B. So one of the things that you said in there that really hit me hard was how much of a beast he's going to be. And you're absolutely correct. He is going to be one hell of a beast when he gets up to the NHL and he gets a little bit more experience. He is only, 22 years old, I think he is?
22, 23, yeah.
Yeah. So he still has some time to meld down or get his everything going up in the A. But I have a feeling that he is going to join us in the NHL this year for at least more than half of it. And I think that he's going to be a heck of a beast back there. I actually see him in 2 to 3 years being a part of the penalty kill team. Mark my words.
Yeah, I see.
You're up, young man.
Yeah, I see him having a very big role moving forward. But I'll give you kind of my assessment. The problem is this year he had 5 games, right? Yeah. Last year he had quite a bit more. But there is a marked difference between how he played this year and how he played last year. And the biggest, most important thing for me was he cleaned up the stupid penalties in the 5 games that he played. Last year, he ended up, I think it was like second on the team with the amount of penalties that he had and he had taken in the amount of time that he played. He took 1 in 5 games. Now, is that great sample size? No, but it showed a lot more maturity. He showed better decision making, better just overall understanding of the game. But he still is showing slow development. Not that he's not developing, but he's still a little bit slower in his development time scale. He is a defenseman. They do take a little bit more time to bake. I do think he's ready to take that next step and get more playing time. I don't think he's going to be an 82, 84 game a season player this year, but I do think that this coming year he'll be playing some, but next year he's going to probably make himself a middle sixer. With that said, I gave him a B minus. It was not an incomplete because I had last year's worth of work and then this last current year's worth of work to kind of judge him on. But I'd like to see him pick up his offensive ability a little bit. I'd like him to see him use that physical frame just a little bit more. I think that's going to come with more experience and more time in the league, which he's only going to be able to get this year. So more playing time this year should bring that B minus up to a B plus, potentially an A minus, if he can start putting that stuff together. I don't think he's ever going to be that offensive powerhouse, but I don't need that. I need a guy who can shut things down between him and Simashev. As long as one of them could do that, if both can, golden.
Oh yeah.
I just need one of them. So.
I agree with everything that you just said there, and he is, and it's funny how you said that he's going to be like Sergachev. I think he's going to be more like Mackenzie Weegar. So
yeah, he's got more of the defensive mindset to him,
and I think that's awesome that we have that.
He's going to play like John Marino, except 400 times the size, because Lamoureux. So really fast, Kevin Lankinen, or whatever his name is for the Jazz. I don't follow basketball very much, but I remember he ended up dropping the puck last year on the inaugural game, and I remember looking at this guy and going, "Holy crap, he's huge!" Because he's like 7'1", and on skates he's like 9'2", and so he was skating around, and obviously Mav Lam is not quite that tall, but the two of them together, I'm 5'8" and I feel very inadequate when I see those two out around the arena. Big boys, very big boys. They're definitely intimidating kids. So
when I met you firsthand last season, and we were standing next to each other, I was like, I feel tall next to this guy.
Yeah. This is why I was a terrible goalie. The no reflexes and the no skill.
So, what was Leroy's question that you had that you wanted to answer?
Oh, yeah, he was talking about foot speed, and I think that's kind of a little bit about it too, the foot speed and the decision making. Like I said, I think that's kind of going to develop just the quickness, because both of those things are going to come together. If you make better decisions, you can make a better read on the puck, so you are going to naturally be quicker. And I think that's going to just come with time. I think that's kind of the one knock on him is he played, I think it was like 28 games or first season, only 5 last year. He needs more reps. If he gets that, I think the decision making comes, and I think the natural quickness comes. I don't think he's ever going to be a Logan Cooley speedster, but I want to see that quickness develop. You don't have to be fast to be quick. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at.
So
yeah, he does force the passes. So Leroy's comment, lateral movements and pivots need work, and he seems to force passes. That's kind of the decision making I'm kind of talking about.
Yep.
Forcing the passes is a bit of the immaturity. To use a comparison, you look at Schaefer on the Islanders. The kid is very smart, very mature for his age. He knows his footwork. He knows where he's going to go with it. I don't see Mavlam at that level of maturity, even though he's an older player with a lot more experience in the big leagues. But if he can put that together, I think he's going to put it together, start putting it together next year, and then getting it together starting 27-28 is my thought process. Definitely promising kid. Definitely somebody I'm excited about because that size alone is bestial. So
yep, and he's going to be heck on the boards. So
I hope so.
Yep. I had something in my head and I totally forgot it now. Oh well, life goes on. So he is very promising. I do. Yeah, he is very, very promising. What league is he playing in? Right now, he's playing in the A for the Tucson Roadrunners. But he's been coming back and forth between the two leagues. So I'm hoping that he comes up. But yeah, he is. Yeah. He needs to work a little bit on his skills. At 22, 23 years old. Now I remember what I was going to say. Matthew Schaefer. Even when I was watching some of the games that Matthew Schaefer was in, he still looked like he was forcing some of the passes to come through.
Oh, yeah.
So even as good as he is, he still does that. Does he have contact? He is not he's not a Quinn Hughes. He is definitely not a Cale Makar. He is more of a defensive player, defensive minded. He's more like a Mackenzie Weegar or somebody on the Boston side. Like Peaky or Peak, the way he was. He wasn't so much of a shooter. He was more of a defensive-minded person. So, just like that.
So
there
Leroy
you go.
Leroy, you asked about contract here, and he is on the ELC. So Mammoth Headlines commented on that. So thank you, Nolan. Appreciate that. He is on his ELC. He did burn the first year because he played. It was like 20-something games last year with the 5. Was just kind of that. But yeah, I think he still has 2 years, 2-3 years left on the ELC. I have to double check on that. I don't remember his contract off the top of my head, just because it's such a low value that I just view the ELCs as like, oh hey, this is a freebie player. So.
Cody, I appreciate it. I'll talk to you in a little bit about it. So, I'm actually going to be guest hosting on Catching Up with Cody coming up on
awesome.
Monday. So yeah, he's asked me to come over, and so he's just sending me the link for all of that stuff. So but yeah, come watch me. I believe it's going to be airing on Monday. Is that correct, Cody? Is it going to be airing on Monday, or is it going to be airing another day? Yeah, this is his final season with the ELC. That is correct.
Okay.
Yep. And
So
I think Bill Armstrong's already worked his contract into the salary cap for next season. I remember hearing about that live Monday 9 Eastern. Yep, we are going live 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
So real fast, I don't want to pivot too far from the topic, but if his ELC is up this year, how concerned are you then, Doug, or are you, Kari, about the way the contracts have kind of exploded over this summer? If his ELC is up, because I thought we had a little bit more time on his ELC. Are you guys concerned because is he going to get overpaid without necessarily the production numbers?
Kari, I'll let you go first, unless you want me to. Okay, go for it. I don't see a problem with it. The way Bill Armstrong negotiates with all of the players, and look what he did with our two top people. We only have, out of all of our contracts that are out there, and I think it's 42 contracts that we have. I don't even think it's full. I think we might only have like 36 contracts signed. ELCs are not part of that. The way that he talks to the players and gives them the what's going on, I bet you that he will get $4 to $5 million per year for 3 years.
Yeah, my only concern is
that is true. Leroy just said something on the thing. No two-way players never get paid based on potential. That is correct.
I'm wondering though, because the way that contracts just exploded recently. Doug, to your point, you said, we did lock up Cooley, we did lock up Gunther. McBain took a good contract for us, but that was before everything kind of just went topsy-turvy. So
Cooley could have easily waited.
Well, you know what? I don't think he realized that was going to happen. Right? Oh. Cooley could have waited. Cooley could have gotten another $4 million a year, and I mean, we still steal for him with that contract. But my concern now is Lamoureux's value is going up, and the reason for that is he is a promising player who has really good tape on him. Are they going to potentially pay for him and project him out? Now, Leroy, I noticed you said no, and I'm thinking that might actually be the opposite, only because now they are starting to make contracts a little bit more on potential. Carlson, his potential was where that contract was made, right? They ended up doing what's his face's contract from San Jose based off of potential as well. Celebrini, thank you. His contract off of potential as well. Now they're showing track for that. Celebrini less so because he's got some of the proven thing on there, but I think they maybe offer him 3, 5, or 4, and kind of give him a little bit of a bridge. So Doug, I'm not too far off from where you're at, but I think they're going to have to, because I do see another team going out and saying, you know what, why don't we offer sheet the kid, and why don't we offer sheet the kid at 5, and then we're going to overpay for it. So I'd rather play it safe. And lock them up for something that may not be the most team-friendly deal, because we also have so many good contracts on the books. Yeah. Rather like Gunther, Cooley, McBain, those 3 over the last 2 years, we can turn around and be a little bit more, more loose with some of the contracts that we're going to do. Trocheck's contract is a great contract. Lee's contract is a great contract. So, I mean, if you want to spend, a kid that you would normally say, hey, 2.5, give him 3.5. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
So, and one of the things that we also have to think about also is Clayton Keller's coming up.
That is true.
Yep. I think it's next season is his last season on the contract for 7.5. So I expect them to lock him up at the next off season. So
yeah, especially with Schmaltz getting locked up and how those two are really close.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to ask for 12 or anything like that, but he's going to want to raise, and if he's smart, he's going to probably want like $1 more than Schmaltz just to rub it in.
Oh, I think he's going to be close to 16.
I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
We'll see how next year comes and how the contract.
Exactly. So. My question is this: do you think that we're going to wait for an offer sheet, or are we going to sign them before that?
You've got to sign it before that, because that offer sheet that comes through can completely bite you.
Let me ask everybody in the chats. What do you guys think? Kari, what do you think? Is it going to go to offer sheet, or is it going to go to contract right off the bat? I agree. I definitely don't want it to get messy. I don't want to have another Leo Carlson look on the Mammoth. We are too good of a team. We have too good of a GM. And so we did this last week. In Bill Armstrong, we trust. NBA, we trust. So, yeah.
Leroy, what team would offer sheet him? I can see Chicago trying to pull that. I think St. Louis has the picks to try and pull something like that. A team that can use a younger team that wants to build around a big defenseman. I can see them going that way. A team on the dark horse on that would be Boston, just because they already have Zadorov, and that guy is a massive giant. Imagine having you went from Big Z to Zadorov now, and then you've got another Lamoureux at 6'7". Yeah, I don't see that happening, but that would be just awful. So.
Yep, I agree with you, Leroy. Offer sheet guarantees overpay. Yeah. Look at Leo Carlson. Yeah, we don't even have to talk about that. So we're going to go on to number 3 out of this. Our favorite, Barrett Hayton. Kari, I'm going to have you start off this time. You gave him a lot better grade than I did. I'll go next. So you're absolutely correct. With over a 52% face-off, that is right up the alley. Yeah, he is definitely somebody to keep. And my question to you, Kari, real quick, is that do you think he's going to stay on line 3, on the third line, or do you think he's going to drop down to the fourth line and bring Stenlund up? Oh, do you think that Hayden's going to stay there? Or is he going to drop down to line 4 and Stenlund move up? And she's like, I think Stenlund's going to move up.
Interesting.
That is an interesting one. It didn't pop into my head until right now. Your damn Skippy Vinny Trocheck is MVP, especially for the Mammoth. He is going to be rocking everybody. He's definitely going to rock the Rangers. They're all going down. So, yeah, that's his favorite team. So we won't even talk to him anymore. So I gave him a C+. And the reason why I did that is not because of the fact of as good of a player as he is, and he is a very good player. It's not because of the fact of he cost us more points last season than he actually got us more points. Utah depth is very crowded right now. I'm very surprised that we're actually going to stick him on line 3. But you know what? It was his face-offs that got me to give him a C+. At a 52%, that is amazing. And I tell you, there's not many teams out there that have that. And now, with us getting Hayden back, getting Vinny Trocheck, we got 2 of the best centers for face-offs. So that's what I have to say. Adam, what do you have to say?
Man, how much time do we have? I want to start the Hayton on Hayton fan club because I do not like him at all. I toyed with giving him an F because I just do not like that kid at all. I ultimately settled on a D for the same reason that you guys praise him. The one thing on his game that is really solid is his face-off. Yep. And he was the one guy really who helped us out on face-offs last year, other than Stenlund. So, but now with Stenlund coming back and Trocheck coming in, Hayton is now 3rd on the depth chart in his face-off percentages. So that is going to fall off a bit. But let me tell you a little bit of a story. Barrett Hayton played a lot fewer games last year. So first season with the Utah Hockey Club, I think he played the entire season. If not, he missed 1 game tops.
I think it was 1 or 2 games that he missed, but yeah.
Yeah, so he played almost every game, and he ended up putting up 20 goals. He showed, 45 points, 46 points. He ended up looking really good. He showed so much promise. It was his best year. He had a really good year, not the year before, but 2 years before in Arizona. He got hurt in the interim, but it looks like he bounced back from the injury. He was looking great.
Yep.
He was definitely looking promising. Come to this year, this kid, he completely changed up his game. And I hate how he changed up his game because it shot us all in the foot. First things first, the kid lost all semblance of discipline, right? He, in let's call it 81, 82 games last year, had something like 45 penalty minutes.
Yeah.
In 60 games this year, he had 50. He ended up having more penalty minutes in about 2/3 of the time that he was playing. But worse is his style of drawing penalties. He draws roughly one penalty every 60 minutes of play that he has. He went from committing, less than one penalty a game to like 1.25 per game. His just discipline went out the window, and it wasn't just bad penalties. They were stupid penalties. They were done at bad times. And again, I've mentioned this briefly. I'm working on a project to kind of explain good and bad penalties to people. Barrett Hayton is a shining example of bad penalties because he just did not mentally, prepare his game. He took stupid penalties all over the place. His goal scoring dried up, because he completely changed his game. And what I mean by that is last year, or let's go to 24. In 2024, with his 20 goals, 7 of them were on the power play. He also had a bunch of tip-in goals, right? He ended up, so tip-ins and deflections have their own metrics in the NHL, right? So when they're listed, it'll show you a shot type, and a deflection is anything that hits you within, I think, 5 feet of the net, and a tip is where you get your stick on it within, I think, 10 feet or 12 feet of the net. He ended up getting 7 goals on 36. I thought I had it memorized, but 7 goals on 35, 36, 37 shots, whatever it was last year. So let's call it 7 for 40 to play it safe, right? This last year, he had like 26 tips, and he got 2 goals off of all of that. And so his shooting percentage on the tips just cratered because his positioning was terrible. When he did get position, he took a penalty, so he killed the momentum that was going there. It just was a terrible situation for him to be in. And part of that was moving off of the first line, and I get that. But part of it was just overall his play forced him off the top line. So his penalty minutes went through the roof. His power play production just cratered. His ability to kill plays cratered. His shot style and selection was just terrible. So overall, there's all of that. Now the faceoffs are the one positive for him, right? I liked where he was with the faceoffs, but if you look where he was in 24, his faceoffs were close to 54%. Last year was 52. So he's still above 50. He's still, on the right side of things, but he's continuing to slip. And so my concern on that is if we're looking at or we're going to compare his stats from 24 to 25, it's an F across the board because everything was worse. If we're going to be talking about his play independent of those stats, that's where I'm kind of in the D range because he did have that saving grace of being able to win faceoffs. But one last thing I'll throw on that is last year, so 24 is what I consider last year, but he ended up fighting a couple of times. He had a couple of games where he threw some big hits, got into fights, protected his players. Last year, he barely did that. So he lost even the edge of this physicality, which, we assumed he would have. So, I mean, every metric that I look at from a standpoint measuring year to year, I couldn't give that kid less of a grade than F. But, trying to give him a little bit of a positive and benefit of the doubt with the face-offs, that was the one bright spot that we had for him last year.
Yeah. So one of the things that was in our comments about that, by the way, Adam, fantastic review on that's your best review you've given anybody except for Anders Lee. Sorry, but Leroy said that he doesn't move his feet enough, and I think that was Leroy. I think that was you, Leroy, and that is actually correct.
Yes.
When he was given those penalties, all those penalties, he wasn't moving his feet, so it was easy for the refs to call it. And it's just, oh my God, it's so terrible when you don't move your feet. That's like hockey 101. So Yeah,
not for me. I was a goalie.
Well, you're a goalie. You just stick in your little net there and just go, oh, I got a puck shooting at me.
I was too short. I couldn't even get down a butterfly right.
Oh, God. That's hilarious. So, I can answer part of that. I think they asked them to. I think that they wanted more of a finesse player out of him because they had Lawson Krause. They also had Liam O'Brien, and they brought in Brandon Tanev in to be more of the enforcer group. And they were like, we want you to be more finesse. And that just totally threw him off. And, yeah, I think that's my opinion. Adam?
The one thing on that, the only thing I'll disagree on that point is, they may have asked him to be more finesse, but I don't understand why they would, because his role, Tanev's role, and O'Brien's roles were completely separate anyway. So bringing in Tanev was never going to supersede what his role was on the team overall. So my thought was, maybe they told him to hey, play a little bit smarter, and he did everything but. I do have a quick anecdote, because I tell everybody this. So there was an event, which I was very fortunate enough to go to. And so there was a bunch of signings. I got Yamamoto signing, Veggie signing. And I brought a hat. I got a brown hat. I normally don't wear brown, but I got this really nice brown hat. And so I brought it. And all of the guys are signing it. And Barrett Hayton signs my brown hat in a silver, Amber knows, in a silver pen, which you can't even see his signature on my hat. It is the stupidest thing. And he looks at me and he goes, oh, I shouldn't have done that in silver. Do you want me to do it again? No, I don't want you to do it again. I don't need your thing on there twice, And so, yes. So that guy to me that was my dude, if he thinks on the ice, he thinks how to sign a hat, dude, get him off the team.
Yeah, he holds a grudge.
A little bit.
That's why he wanted him to go to New Jersey, so he never has to see him again. And then with his Islanders playing him every once in a while, it's like, hey, you suck. Yeah.
I'm fine with him tank. Well, that's the thing, man. I just looking at what I got with the second rounder, I think is more value than we got with the signing.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
Unless he plays 24. If he plays 24, 25, maybe.
Then I'm happy with this 4.75.
Yeah, but I don't think he's there. Watching everything.
Oh, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, I get into the advanced stats, and I know, Kari, that's where I fall in. That's my specialty. But looking at the tips, looking at where his play was, looking at where he directed play from the last year, year and a half, because he missed half the year in Arizona, and the first year here. It was a completely different play style. And again, the other big part of that is he's tenured. He's had a lot of time in the league. How all of a sudden you're going to forget how to play and just take so many stupid penalties and forget where to position yourself and forget just the basics. That was the biggest regression I've seen in a player in a very long time.
I've been watching hockey since the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. I've never seen anybody fall off like that. I haven't.
Not age related, because some of the age related guys, when you hit 37, 38,
I'm not talking about the age related guys. I'm talking about the guys that between 20 and 30.
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
and so if he does well, great. If he doesn't do well, okay, we can get rid of him next season. So
he walks next season. We can't even trade him for assets.
No, we can't trade him, but we can always sign him after January 8th, I think it is. We can re-sign him and then trade him. So, I think it's January 8th. So, coming up right now, we are almost to our hour mark. I told you Kari was going to go over an hour. Told you.
We talk too much.
I
talk too much.
Yeah. No, I do too, so don't worry about it. So, we are actually going to skip all of our commercial breaks today. We usually have 2, but we have 2 more segments that we really need to talk about. And the first one is the most important one for the Utah Mammoth, and that is the coach's report card. Last week we did. You could also do a sign and trade of his UFA rights, like Alex Tuck. Unfortunately, no, because when they offer sheeted him, they gave him 15 no trade team, I think it was. So it's going to be very, very hard to do. So yeah, there was a little bit of hiccups in that, which New York or New Jersey Devils really screwed us over.
The Devils definitely poison pill that contract. I just thought it was not worth signing, but
nope, I did. I agree with you. But yeah,
we trust Armstrong. We gave him a good grade last week for a reason. And
A minus.
Yeah.
Was it A minus? Yeah, I gave him an A minus.
Mm-hmm.
So since you deferred last one, you are going to go first this one, Mr. Adam. So talk to us about Tourigny.
Andre Tourigny, Bear, is a pretty good coach. But the problem for me was January, I wanted him fired. February, I wanted him fired. March, I liked him. And, April, I was like, I'm on board with this guy again. So I'm one of those guys. Early in the season, first month of the year, things were great with the team. You couldn't complain. Coaching the first month is fine. November, everything fell off a cliff. And I think everyone remembers how bad November was. And it didn't show a lot of shakeups. And I mean positive shakeups. Because if we remember, Peterka, Gunther, and Cooley were playing on the same line. They were doing extremely well. Then there was the line shakeup. And then Peterka never played the same. Now, would he have? I don't know. But he shook that line up, and they did not put them back. He also made very questionable decisions early in the season. And those decisions were Yamamoto was in the press box. Liam O'Brien and Brendan Tanev were playing every game. Yamamoto, as you guys probably remember, he was the A plus in my heart, but an A overall. He ended up becoming a spark plug. Same with Carcone, who also sat with that. So decision-making on personnel, especially early in the year, even through January, I had him as an F. I was like, this is the worst decision-making I've ever seen. He obviously improved. There was some turnover. We ended up getting rid of Oli Mata. We brought in Uyghur, so that was helpful for the back end. Cooley obviously was hurt, so you got to give him a little bit of a curve on that. Overall, I think he redeemed himself towards the second half of the year. But that leads itself into the second part, which was coaching, not his coaching, but the special teams coaches.
Yeah.
We struggled on the power play so badly, and we didn't make changes. Now, on my blog on Salty Stampede, I wrote it was a multi-page article, multi-part article talking about why our power play was so bad. And, there were like 7 different fixes that I suggested that we could do, and none of them were implemented. And it took a while for that power play after I wrote that blog to even click again. And that was with Cooley pretty much single-handedly trying to drag the team there. No changes were made behind the bench with Marino and Forsyth. Marino honestly is fine. Forsyth is a problem, but that's another conversation. But it didn't seem like there was any movement with Forsyth. It did not seem like there was a lot of movement within the personnel on the power play. I felt it was really mismanaged until late in the year. His playoff performance, I said to people, the only reason I didn't want him fired in the middle of the year is because I wanted to see how he played in the playoffs, because he'd never really had a chance to do it. He had that the COVID season, and he was there, but that kind of doesn't count. So I wanted to see how he played in the playoffs because I knew we were going to make it. And I think he did well. And I think what the positives for him are definitely player development, because if we look, Gunther is really coming into his own. Cooley is really coming into his own. Keller's developed, but Keller's is doing well. Defenseman a little bit less, but I mean, it really looks to see how Lamoureux does this year, how Simashev does this year. So as a player development coach, Bear to me is a solid A candidate.
Yeah.
As a tactical coach with some of the player personnel, he was a C candidate, and some of just the decision making on that. But ultimately, it blends out to me. I think he's going to be about a B on my list of things, and that's kind of my reasoning why. I know it's long winded, but that's
no. You're always long winded. It's okay. So, Miss Kari, go ahead for Andre. Yeah, I agree. Yep. Good for you. B plus is a very, very good score. A couple of things that you said that really took a lot off of my plate too was the development of the young core. He is more of a development coach, just like what Adam was saying as well, and he really that's where he comes from. And he came up from the A. I want to say, God, I can't remember the name of the team now. I want to say it was it Iowa? I can't remember now. It's been too many years. But I was like, oh my God, who is this guy? Who is this guy that's going to coach the Coyotes? Because it was Coyotes at the time. And I am slightly a Coyotes fan still. Uh, but when he came aboard, I saw what he did for Keller. Just like what you were saying, what he's done for Keller, he's made him a better player. He's made all of the guys better. The morale is huge, in my opinion. I manage a bunch of different people for my job, and I tell you, if the morale's down, so are sales. And so it's the same exact thing in sports. If the morale's down, they're out. And that's one of the reasons why I think that Dallas is not going to do very well this season. And I'm also on the board that it's very possible that Colorado is going to be in the same exact boat as them because of the fact that their morale is so dang low. So I gave him an A minus. And yes, he did have a hiccup for a while. And I'm going back like what Adam did with Barrett Hayton. I'm going back also with what Andre Tourigny did when he was with the Coyotes and in the last 2 years that he's been with Utah. And he has developed these players. He's made Gunther. He's made Cooley. He's made Schmaltz. He's made Lawson Krause. He's made all of these players, including Keller, better people, better players, better team. And I don't think that there is a better coach. And I think it was, I forget who said it. Who the heck said it? It was Mammoth. It was Nate Nolan, who said that he could be up for the Jack Adams. You're absolutely right. He could be up for the Jack Adams next season because of the fact of what he brings to this team and how much he's influencing this team and wanting them to be better every single game. Yes, we do have some hiccups here, Barrett Hayton, and others ones, Lawson Krause, but that's okay. We are always going to have that. So it is amazing what these guys can do under this leader. So I'm 100% believing that Andre Tourigny is going to be a Jack Adams, not this year, maybe next year. And so, yeah, that's what I have to say.
So between the three of us, B plus?
B plus.
I think that's pretty fair.
You watched what 2 weeks ago?
Andrew? Oh, yeah. Andrew watched my video about Andrew's league. Now, Andrew is an Islanders fan. Yeah, Andrew's an Islanders fan, so he knows.
Andrew's an Islanders fan? There's an Islanders fan on here? And a Boston Bruins fan? Oh, my God. We're going to hell. No, I'm just kidding. Andrew, do me a favor. Watch Hockey World Order Wednesday, we cover the whole entire league. You would love that show. If you like this one and you like what he's done, Adam's not a part of it, but I am on the national team, on the national call. And I tell you, we cover things like that. So, yes, let me hop in, and I'd love to chat. We don't bring people on here. I apologize. Sabres here, too? Oh, my God. We got all the East Coast teams. I love this. I love it. I love it. Couple Islander fans. One of them's on the screen. The other one's in my comments, and another one's in my comments. I love this. You guys are amazing. I love this. I love this league. So, going on to our next segment, which is going to be our last segment. And I kind of popped this up to Kari and Adam here just at the last second, just yesterday, because it popped into my head. I saw some teams out there that have 3 goalies. And I looked at some of the other ones that have only 2 goalies. And us being one of the ones with 2 goalies. With it going from 84 games or 82 games to 84 games, I want to know, and please comment in the comments as well, do the teams need to start thinking about going to 3 goalies instead of 2 because of the 84 games? So I'll start off with this because this is mine. This is something on me. I think that it would be beneficial to have 3 goalies. Just for the simple fact of if your main goalie plays 40 games, that's a lot of games. It's 28 games less than what Vejmelka did last season, but that's okay. So 40 games, and then you bring on your number 2, which plays 30 games. Depends on the age of the goalies. Very true. 2 more games won't kill the goalies. I disagree. And I'll be honest with you, Andrew, and I'll tell you why here in a quick second. And then you bring in a third one, who's your development one, and you have them play 14 games. So this way, the development team or the development goalie gets some action. This would have benefited Kosa so much that we would not have gotten him. I mean, shoot, we would never have gotten Kosa if he played more than 1 game in the NHL. Never. I think he's that good of a goalie. But I've seen these goalies, and Vejmelka's 30 years old. He's not a young kid, but he's also not a young goalie. And being 30, playing 40 games, that's hot. Seeing him, the way he looked after the playoffs, after playing 68 games and then playing 7 games, boom, he was dead tired. That boy, I'm surprised he even got onto a plane. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he slept for 7 days straight. So, yeah, but the thing about it is that 30 plus, you're absolutely correct. The thing about it is that we are asking our number 1 goalies, and I'm talking about true number 1s, not the wood chopping crew that's in Colorado. I'm talking about true number 1s. Vejmelka. I can't even say, nope, I can't say it. Anderson up in Edmonton. Bobrovsky that's in Toronto now. Dovish over in Montreal. Those guys are true number 1s. Yep. I don't see them being a 30 game only. I see them playing 40 games. If they get up to 50, I have a feeling that they're not going to do very well. Exactly. Sorokin, V. I can't say that last one with a straight face. Vanacek, I cannot. Oh, you're saying that for the Islanders. Okay. I can go with that. I was like, wait a minute. Vitek Vanacek is not a starting goalie. Sorry. I'm going on a rant. And so I think that we need to start looking at 3. And what does that mean for our future? I don't know yet. I don't know what the NHL is going to do. Are they going to keep it capped at where it is now, or are they going to have to add another person just for the simple fact they're going to 84 games? I don't know. So, Adam, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Well, actually, let's hear what Kari has to say.
Okay, Kari,
I want to
go
hear
for it. I think it was Andrew that said it. Two more games are not going to kill the goalies. And you guys have already heard my rant on that, so I'm not going to speak anymore. But she thinks that 2's good, but a third would not hurt anything. What do you think?
So I have a little bit of a different perspective, I think, than you guys. And the reason that I have it is we're already putting these goalies out in preseason. So 2 more games, the only thing that does is really just increases their intensity for those games from, hey, we're getting ready to, hey, we're actually live. And I'm talking to Andrew on here. Andrew, you'll be able to tell me on this. It was, I think, the last year under Garth Snow and Doug Waite. The Islanders held 3 goalies at one point, and they were a joke because everyone was laughing because that third goalie took up a roster spot that could have been used elsewhere. But they were doing it for some sort of contract reason, and they never ended up playing the goalie. Now, Doug, you said earlier, when you got your starting goalie, let's say your starting goalie plays 45, your backup goalie plays 30, and then your third stringer is going to play 5-10 games.
Yeah.
In the case of like a Kosa-Vejmelka situation, Kosa is going to play, let's just say Vejmelka is going to play 45, let's say 50 games.
Yeah.
That's really where a starting goalie should be, roughly about 50 games. Right now, that means Kosa should play 34. Okay, barring any no injuries at all. That I think is a very proper workload, right? But if you look back into the 80s and 90s, these guys played 72 games, 73 games, right? So goalies were asked to have that workload. Now, with sports medicine and just knowing how it is, they want to give these guys more of a rest, and I 1,000% get that. But you take a look and you say, if it's going to be a backup goalie, I think this is where the premium on backup goalies becomes way more important. But that backup goalie now can't be a guy that you're going to do like a Vanacek last year, where Vanacek did 20 games and was just awful. If you want to run a third goalie situation, you're going to have to petition the league to open up a roster spot.
Yes.
That's number one. Number two, you're going to have to make it a guy, not a development guy. So that, to your point, Doug, where you wanted it to be a development guy. Let's use where we are right now, right? We've got Hrabel, who's in the system. You've got Kosa, and you've got Vejmelka.
And we also got a 4th and a 5th. And I can't think of their names right now.
Well, yeah, but Hrabel is our number one prospect, right?
Yep.
So I'm just going to focus on those 3. We got Stahlberg and all those other guys. But so Vejmelka is your number 1. You're going to ride that workhorse. Your number 2 is going to be Kosa, and we're going to ride him as many as we're going to do. So if between the 2 of them, they're playing, let's say, 75 games, and Hrabel's only going to get 9 games, is it more valuable for him to be in the AHL and play 50 games and get the experience out there, get more used to the game speed, or is it worth keeping him on the bench? And to me, I played a little bit. Now, I was never at this level, but it was more important for me to play somewhat consistency at a lower level just so I saw myself improve. I don't think it's going to benefit you in any way, shape, or form to bring up your rookie, except, and Andrew said this earlier on, where he said, hey, at the end of the season, if you want to bring up your rookie and you want to get him to play, like if we brought up Hrabel with 5 games left and let him start all 5, perfectly fine. But I don't think you can carry them all season long. I don't think that's going to be a good situation for you. I think if you're going to do a situation like that and you have an A, B, and C, your A is your starter, your B is your traditional backup, and your C is a Vanacek, or it's a Smith, or it's somebody who is not that great but can spot you for 5 games. I think you got to leave your prospects and your good prospects in the AHL. But if you bring up Stauber or Jackson, whatever his name is, from the AHL to give him a little bit of rest, he's never going to be your starter. He's never going to be your number 1. He might be a minor backup in the way Vanacek was. I don't have a problem bringing him up. I just don't want you to burn your prospects and have them sit. I don't think that's beneficial.
I love this, and I think it's a fantastic talking point because it's nowhere near done. So,
Andrew, yes, you are right. I could not remember the year, ever since before COVID, I can't remember stuff. But yeah, that was the year that we ran the 3. So Grice, Halak, and Berube. And I just remember that joke of Berube sitting there and taking the roster spot for no reason. So that was I just don't want to see. I don't want that to be replicated. And like I said, I don't think the two extra games are that much more of a workload considering they're already doing them in preseason. It's just a little bit more intensive. So split 1 and 1. Your backup gets 1, your starter gets 1, and you're done.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. So, all right, everybody. Do me a favor. Please give Miss Kari, Sis Mish for Mammoth, a follow. She is a fantastic hockey fan.
She's got great memes, guys. I see them all the time, and
Yep.
I love what she posts. So.
And also Miss Jackie, who is in our comments as well. She is also a VJ, veggie fan. That's her number 1 player. So,
Amber's too.
good Lord, these girls in Vimoka, I swear, I swear, I don't see it. I really don't. No, I'm just kidding. He is a good-looking guy.
I'm gonna have to find an AI face changer and put Vimelka on with my commentary. I think we'll increase our viewership that way.
It's the eyes. Yeah, we had McKenna on last week, and yeah, she's that's her boy right there, Keller. So yeah, I always have to get her hell about it. So, all right, everybody, it was a pleasure having you on, Miss Kari. I loved it. Too bad we couldn't get you on the YouTube side. It would have been a lot better for everybody. Have a great night, Miss Jackie. You're still my favorite goalie. Oh, my God, Amber. Ugh. If anybody doesn't know, Amber is his wife. So, yep.
She's a little bit biased. So.
Yeah. Oh, how sweet. I know. It's kind of gross. No, I'm just kidding. I love them both. So, Kari, it was a pleasure. I will message you here in a little bit. Yep. You guys all have a great day, and we will all talk to you all later soon. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Take care, guys.